Oh, Eliot, your hair's got so long. We can't leave it this long before we cut your hair because I literally have to guess at this point.
It's cheaper than the barber though.
Yeah, but it
And I love having my head pulled.
It just means you don't know what you're gonna get. So today I'm going to be cutting Eliot's hair. Usually I always cut Eliot's hair, so this isn't like a new thing. I'm not an expert in this at all. Don't come for me if you're a hairdresser. I literally improvise. Obviously, you get to miss out on the banter that a usual barber shop would have.
I've never ever had banter with any of my barbers.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the UK and not the US.
What were you going to say?
And it's not like films. We're very polite here. We know that we don't want to have a chat, so...
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's really sad. Anyway, so because obviously Eliot doesn't get to like engage in the normal, I don't know, conversation that you would at a barber, we thought we'd have it here with your wife. Isn't that
what do I look like? What have you done to me? Oh, this is not...
Listen,
oh.
Listen, this is why you're not meant to look at what I do.
They're looking.
But you don't usually look at what I do. You're just happy when it's finished.
Oh no.
So don't pay too much attention to it. So one of the things we thought we'd discuss today is the idea of digital minimalism. I can't even say it. Digital minimalism, data, how much time we spend on our phones, social media, all of that stuff.
Off the back of reading the intro of one book.
Literally it is. I'm one of those people, I read the intro of one book.
Joy reads the blurb. And then she's like, I'm riled up. Social transformation, I'm riled up.
You're so rude.
Just finish the book and then let me know what the outcome is.
You're so rude. Also, this isn't going well because
What
these
have
clips
you
don't
done?
even do anything. Do you know what? I'm going to shave your head and then we're going to come back and discuss this. Okay, continue.
Joy's been going on a journey, assessing her digital impact and her digital footprint.
That's true, yeah, you can say that. I was watching The Great Hack. If anyone's watched it, please let me know. If you've not watched it, watch it. It's on Netflix and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a show, it's a documentary, and it's all about how our data and social media has basically been used by the government and by companies to control the outcomes of things like what?
Well, the 2016 presidential election and Brexit and other big voting opportunities.
This thing isn't working, by the way.
What, scissors?
I'm going to use my comb because this hair keeps sliding out of it. Whenever you get kind of like a service or something, or a website or any service that's basically like you can use this for free, the reality is it isn't, because you're exchanging something that is free, a service that is free, for your data. What they do with that,
Well, they sell it.
They sell it.
So like, data has become like the hottest trade item in the world, and it's extremely valuable data.
I think when I had discussions about whether people care about their data being sold, a lot of people don't care because they don't really understand, or they don't even know, or have never thought about the implications of it. And I guess at one point as well, I didn't really care as well because I didn't realise.
Well, the main thing is advertisement, right?
Yeah.
Is that if the more that companies know about you, the more they know how to target advertisement to you. I had a friend say to me the other day that he just buys all of his clothes from Instagram.
Are you serious?
Because he's just like, he hates shopping.
Really?
And Instagram adverts have become so good at like showing him what he likes to buy through his purchase options. That he really likes the ability to go on Instagram, see an advert, like the clothing, and then buy it. So for him, it's worked really well. For me, that's scary because it's like, why do they know so much of like?
How do they know?
How do they know so much about you? They were saying that in the show that there were some people who had like 5,000 data points on people. So that's like likes, interests, other people that they know, things about where they live, where they frequently travel, like maybe where they work, that kind of thing. If you know all that information about somebody, you can then quite accurately predict even what they're going to do next, or like what they might want to buy, or when, do you know what I mean? Like you can start to like really profile people. And obviously I'm only really talking about private companies selling items, but in the case of Cambridge Analytica, they use that data to change the outcome of an election. The data that's been gathered from you just doing your normal everyday life stuff on socials is kind of scary.
And even like you said before that we were talking about how Facebook has profiles for people who aren't on Facebook yet.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. So I deactivated my main Facebook account like 2 years ago, but I continued to use Messenger up until I watched The Great Hack. After which I requested for all my data to be deleted. One of the things I found out that Facebook do is that they'll gather information on people who are mentioned on Facebook but don't have a Facebook account. So what they do is they build like a pseudo profile for these people, and then so that when they do eventually join Facebook, they suggest friends and likes and interests to them based on the information that they've already gathered
from their
from other people mentioning them on Facebook. So it's like, do you know this person? But there's no way that they would be able to know that they know that person. So there's lots of funny things just because they've started building your Facebook profile of suggested likes and suggested friends of who you might know. So the likelihood is that if your friends are active on Facebook, even if you don't have it, Facebook are already gathering data. Obviously, it means that they can't actually target adverts and stuff at you in that respect, but it's still quite interesting.
Yeah.
Quite concerning.
So if you're really young and you're using social media all the time, I just can't picture that. Like, how does that work? Because
exactly, yeah,
your views aren't necessarily being shaped by just your experiences. Of course they are, but like also they're kind of being shaped by what you're seeing online, and that's someone else's agenda in a way. But that brings me on to another thing, the whole idea of digital minimalism. So my friend Caitlin lent me this book, and it's kind of all about how to kind of limit your footprint digitally. And the whole idea of digital minimalism is that everybody should kind of have a philosophy around the digital stuff that they use. So if you use a phone, for example, there's an intention behind using it, and you know why you're using it, and you've got a really great way of using it so that it benefits you in your day-to-day life rather than takes away from you. Because I think one of the things that we've seen quite a lot is that there's a lot of people kind of, I don't know, people are getting depressed over social media likes and over Instagram and not being invited to things and FOMO, and
that felt very short.
We're going short, babe. There's so many different kind of mental health issues now that are kind of linked to social media. Digital minimalism movement is a way of kind of reducing the impact of that, so that you know exactly what you're using social media for, whatever that looks like for you. And for one person, it could be they don't have a phone at all, or a smartphone, and they literally just have a phone for its bare minimum. And then for another person, it could literally be that they use it as certain apps at specific times, or they limit their time using it. But we've kind of had a lot of discussions about this, haven't we? Do you feel like social media impacted you?
Yeah, so social media. So there's two distinct things here, I think. One is our digital usage in terms of how much we use our phones and how that impacts our lives, and then there's a separate conversation about social media. I found it really unhelpful to be on Instagram. I didn't like the fakeness of people. I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't like it. People portraying lives that they weren't really living and stuff. And then obviously I've also seen the other side of it, which is what happens when you like people paying for things, and the ads were getting a bit ridiculous. So I really still so I'm talking more like about Instagram really, because I stopped using Facebook such a long time ago because it's basically for old fogies. So and I couldn't bear just like being on it, so I got rid of that a while ago. Other than for businesses, I understand that there's importance there for organising events, things like that. I think it's useful. But with Instagram, I kind of just stripped back my account and then just followed my hobby interests, and that was okay, and I still kind of have it for that. And obviously I run my Lego thing as well. But I just found that I was just wasting time just scrolling through stuff, and it wasn't really benefiting me at all.
But then you found that there are other things, aren't there,
that
kind of have the same effect?
So I think Reddit is one of those things that has the same effect. You can kind of just scroll through Reddit, which is if you don't know what Reddit is, there's news articles along with all kinds of other rubbish thrown in there But some of it's really good stuff and some of it's not at all. Some of it's pretty toxic. But I think the idea of it is quite addictive as a website in itself.
That's what it models itself on being, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it, actually no, that's not true. It doesn't model itself on that, but I think the psychology behind how it's designed is meant for you to keep clicking and clicking.
Keep scrolling, yeah.
Just like
same as Instagram. Yeah.
All of them, YouTube, suggested
video,
all of that. It's meant for you to kind of stay
on it, stay on the website as long as possible.
As you can, yeah.
I'm more prone to being somebody who would just scroll through Reddit than I would be to, because I don't really care what, if I'm not seeing you in real life, I don't care what you're doing. I'm sorry everyone, but like if you want to see me, come and see me, text me, like ring me, that's fine. But I really don't care about pictures of your cat, I just couldn't care less. So, but then Reddit's worse, I guess, because then you're looking at a stranger's cats.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least they're doing more interesting stuff than just like, here's another meal, here's another meal. At least on Reddit, you're like, here's a £20,000 meal, and then you're like, whoa, that's great. Do you know what I mean? But it's still trash. It's still trash. So that's something for me where I need to I decided I want to cut back on that because it's just a complete and utter time waster.
Because there's so many different things on these websites, like we said, that are designed for you to keep going and going. So basically you can end up being on it for X amount of time. If you've never looked at your screen time, do it.
It'll make you feel sad.
It kind of tells you the truth about yourself.
Yeah.
Do you ever know, like, oh, I don't spend any time on my phone, and then you literally go on it and you're like, oh, actually, that's where X amount of hours went.
As long as you're actually connecting with other people in the real world, I think that's all right. But it's this pseudo feeling of feeling connected to other people, which it's not real. When you're sitting in a room full of people scrolling down your phone and no one's looking at each other, and it's like, I feel connected because I was talking to my friend, and it's like, but you're sitting in silence in a room full of people staring at a screen.
That's the thing that I think is scary. One of the things that I feel like puts everything into perspective for me is when I'm on the tube and everyone is quiet and you look down the carriage and everyone is literally like this. Yeah. It's scary.
It doesn't mean that people weren't, because I think there's been a thing about the tube, like people not talking to each other, and before there was phones it was probably newspapers or books, do you know what I mean? But it's still weird to think that everyone is glued to their screens
and
now.
Addicted to it.
It's so weird. Go and take control of your digital self and your digital footprint.
Yeah.
And really, you want to own your data, do you know what I mean? You want to be the person who is in control of what people get. And that's why, cookies on websites, right?
Don't accept cookies.
Don't accept it. Imagine cookies as little spies on your browser that are, they're like little things that get stuck to your browser, and then every time you access that website, everything that you do is being monitored.
Everything. So the minute you say, yes, cookie, you can stay on my laptop or my computer, any website you go on, they know about it. You're basically giving them permission to look at everything that you do on the internet.
Yeah.
Which is what they use to advertise back to you, and is what they use, I don't even know, in some cases they'll sell that information.
We're not saying that, social media bad, real world good.
Yeah, don't live in you don't have to live in a bunker.
Yeah, not saying that, but what it's just about being careful. And actually it can definitely be used for good. Again with Facebook groups and, Instagram things and stuff like that. I'm sure there's loads of good stuff going on. But it's just mixed in with lots of addictive features that have been created by these companies in order to keep you on there.
How are you enjoying your haircut?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. I don't know what it looks like though. Could look
do you not?
Could look like trash.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
When somebody's like, oh, you had your haircut, oh that's cool. But then if you say, oh yeah, my wife cut it,
they're like,
they're trying to scrutinise it to see if it's good.
That's wrong. People shouldn't do stuff like
it's
that.
It's true though. If somebody's like, oh yeah, my dog cut my hair,
that's not the same thing as your wife.
But people are usually really, really impressed.
Yes, they are, because I'm great.
I think just shocked. Maybe more shocked than anything else.
I don't know where the shock is coming from.
Well, you're just the woman of many talents.
Oh, there you go.
Why don't you rate this haircut?
No, don't rate the
Why
haircut.
don't you rate Joy's haircutting ability?
Okay, actually rate it, I'm confident.
And then next one, you can rate that one as well.
But I'm gonna give you a completely different style if we do that. What are your views on social media? Are you addicted to it? Do you use it too much? What do you think about data? Just the digital online world. Do you use Facebook? Are you a social media person? Or are you one of those people who's like cut it out of your life for good? Let us know. Bye!
Bye! I like how you've been like, are you somebody who doesn't use social media? Oh, don't forget to follow me on social media! Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. But delete your Facebook, but just Instagram's fine, even though it's owned by the same company.
Except my cookies.
Except all my cookies, otherwise I don't get paid.